This piece was composed by Adam Booth. Once upon a time, and not too far away, the clouds grew up gray and poured rain for a day. They poured and they poured for 2 whole days more, when suddenly stopping, the sun shone as before. Out popped young Sparrow, out trilled his song. He hunted for worms as he hopped along, and from the top branch from a tree, the bird could ascertain that the river had flooded from 3 days of rain. He flipped out his wings and twisted his neck, 'cause down on the road came a small bouncing speck that caught his attention. It grew with each bound, closer and closer, a young man from town. Tom spoke loudly as he came. "The miller has offered his onliest daughter to the bravest of men who can cross this great water. The flooding has turned away most who have sought her, but I, who am bravest, will win the maid's honor. For mother has said, it's time for a courtin'. I'm strong enough, big enough, and oh, most important, good looking enough. Handsomer than all other men." The sparrow called down, "Is that how you'll win?" "No, to take as a gift, for mother has said, go fetch me some water, and I'll make some cornbread." "This little mesh sieve should ought do the trick. Lickety-split to the crick, and come on home quick." Tom knelt on the bank and plunged the sieve in, but lifting, saw nothing where river had been. It all had drained out, so he tried it again. Dunk, lift, look, dunk, lift, look, no water within. Now, the little brown sparrow had twice built a nest, so he flicked out his wings and puffed out his breast, and as Tom tried again, he heard the bird say, "First daub it with moss and slick it with clay. Daub it with moss and slick it with clay, and away you will carry some water today." Tom covered his ears. "Stop singing that song." "Oh, little bird, I just can't figure just what I did wrong. Your bird song distracts me. It makes my face fret. It's giving me wrinkles, and I'm not that old yet." Tom grabbed up his sieve and started toward home, but the few drops of water weren't enough for a pound of cornbread, so Tom went courting with nothing. Tom thought he was a young stud, but no muffin. While back at the tree, the young bird was singing of sweet-smelling flowers and all spring was bringing, when down on the road came a boy not as old. 'Twas Tom's middle brother, young William the Bold. He spoke confidently as he came. "The miller has offered his onliest daughter to the boldest of men who can cross this great water. The flooding has turned away most who have sought her, but I, who am boldest, will win the maid's honor. For mother has said, it's time for a courtin'. I'm confident, courageous, both most important. I'm not one bit modest. I'll say it again. I'm bold," said the sparrow. "Is that how you'll win?" "No, I'm bringing a gift. For mother has said, go fetch me some water. I'll make some cornbread. This little mesh sieve should ought do the trick. Lickety-split to the crick, and come on home quick." Will knelt by the crick and dipped the sieve in, but lifting, found nothing where river had been. Perplexed and plumb puzzled, he tried it again. Dip, lift, look, dip, look, lift, look, look, lift, and look. No water within. The little brown sparrow had twice built a nest, so he flicked out his wings and puffed out his breast, and as Will kept on trying, he heard the bird say, "First daub it with moss and slick it with clay. Daub it with moss and slick it with clay, and away you will carry some water today." Will looked at the tree and took out his bow. Hush, little bird, or you'll taste my arrow. Your bird song distracts me. How can I lead? Shoo, little bird, go elsewhere to feed. The drops in Will's sieve were less than his brother's that he took home to an unhappy mother. There's not enough there for even one slice. So Will went a courting, but he took nothing nice. Meanwhile, back at the tree, the bird searched for a twig. When down on the road came a boy not as big as his older brothers, William and Tom. It was Jack, fetching water to bring home to Mom. He spoke happily as he came. The miller has offered his onlyest daughter, and to help win her hand, Mom has sent me for water. Sent me for water, and sent me for water. And that's where I'm going right now. The little bird watched as Tom knelt by the river and then saw the boy do something quite clever. And Jack, with a chuckle, said one word, okay. So he daubed it with moss and slicked it with clay, and then for good measure put pieces of hay just here and just there, then plunged in the bowl, brought up water, getting closer to the daughter, his goal. Yippee! Jack exclaimed, and lickety split ran back to home. Mom fixed it with grits, fat and flour, and a mighty salt pinch. 20 minutes later, golden every inch. Now, Jack, take this cornbread, go to the miller's, use manners, please and thank you. Be sure to instill you're a good person, hard worker. Tell her she's pretty, and maybe entrance her with a old-timey ditty. Jack took the cornbread and ran to the river, but he stopped. The water was still flooding. No way I'll deliver this present in time. But then Jack thought he heard the mellifluous singing of one helpful bird. Say, you're the same sparrow that, say, you're the same sparrow that helped me before. Tell me, how can I get this present to her door? Welcome back, Jack, said the sparrow. Sure, I'll help you get there. Just borrow some feathers and fly through the air. Jack watched as the bird took a step to the side, and lifting his wing, feathers 3 Jack espied. The breeze took them gently, a soft lullaby, and falling, they shone like gold in the sky. The sparrow said, now, Jack, be sure to catch them, the sparrow instructed. They whirled and they twirled, and Jack reached up and plucked them right out of the breeze. They're magic, quite rare. With the greatest of ease, Jack rose in the air. Yippee! Jack exclaimed with joyful inflection. Now, Jack, all you have to do is think the direction. Jack thought of the millers, and suddenly, whoosh! He flew through the air and landed on his tush. Boom, boom, boom rang the fist on the wood of the heavy oak door, which opened. There stood the miller who knew why Jack came, with a grin. Son, you will be my daughter's husband. Then the daughter burst out, now hold it right there. That's not how love works. It's subtle, Dad. Nuanced and riddled with quirks. If Jack wants my hand, he best come a courtin'. So meet me, Jack. Mind me. Do all that's important. So that's what Jack did. He courted for days. She saw he was caring and knew all the ways to treat a girl right. But the best trait of all, he listened. Jack listened much more than he saw. On the day Jack proposed, two men who had sought her arrived at her door. "We've come for your daughter." "Oh, Thomas, William, I'm sorry she's taken. It seems that true love in her heart's been awakened." They looked past the miller, and there they saw Jack. The sight of the brother, they were taken aback. They turned to run home, 'cause the river had narrowed, and waiting to meet them was a flock of mad sparrows. A long, happy life the newlyweds led, which couldn't have happened if not for cornbread, which wouldn't have happened if not for good ears. So through all the years, with life, love, and laughter, Jack and his kin lived happy ever after.